Today, Baba is underlining for us the lesson of nothing new. And you see, when we don't understand that it's nothing new, then we lose our happiness over whatever is happening. And to begin with, Baba reminds us that we are the only souls who have the knowledge of this cycle. And you see that in the world, everybody thinks that this Srishti, this universe, the pattern it follows is linear. And everybody thinks that, there is one day that this whole thing began, and then it'll end one day. So it's a linear, straight line where there's a beginning, middle, end. And after the end, you don't know anything. So that's how we think about this whole creation in the world. But Baba tells us it's not linear, it's cyclic. And it's a cycle where the end is the new beginning. And we begin from Satyug to Treta to Dwapar to Kalyug. And then this is the end and the beginning, where we are at the end of Kalyug, but then we are also at the beginning of Satyug. And no matter how many things collapse, they are all, we are in the process of moving to a new world. So the collapse, the loss, the death, that's not the end of it. The story is not over. And after all of this, we are going to move to that world of happiness, that world of prosperity and peace and love. So Baba says that when you see any upheavals, you know that, after the upheaval, there is the happy beginning. So you have to keep this in your awareness. And when you know that, then it's nothing new. And that this happened every cycle. And then we again went to Satyug after that. Now you see, if you want to find an analogy which makes it easier to understand, then just think about a movie that you have seen, and there is another person who is seeing it for the first time, and you know the end. They don't know the end. So when they see a scene where, there's a fight sequence or there is some tragedy, then they would get shaken up because they would wonder what will happen next. But you will not be amazed because at the end it's going to be a happy ending and a new beginning. So since you have watched the movie, you're not surprised by the scenes. Now you see that in the world, people don't have the knowledge of the drama. And because they don't have the knowledge of the drama, every scene of upheaval makes them wonder what next, or how are we going to deal with this? But since we know the drama, and Baba has told us that you will be victorious ultimately, and you will be the ones who will go to Satyug. And if you have faith in Baba's teachings, then you will not be worried about anything. You will be in every state of upheaval externally, you will be internally happy and stable. And if I shared something from my own experience, then what I have understood is, you see, on every path, whether it is the path in the world or whether it is the path of spirituality, on every path you face challenges. And when you face challenges, and if you don't have faith, and faith means faith in Baba, faith in drama, faith in yourself, and faith in the family. So Baba is today, when we talk about the knowledge of the drama, then when you have the knowledge of the drama and faith in the knowledge of the drama, when you have faith in Baba, then what happens is, when there is a challenge on your way, then you don't lose your happiness, you don't lose your hope, you don't lose your enthusiasm. And anybody who doesn't lose these things will always win at the end. But the thing is, if you have no knowledge of the drama, if you don't have faith that, I am the victorious soul and what Baba has told me is true, and at the end I will be that one who gains victory. If you don't have that faith, then you give up. You give up on hope, you give up on, you give up on perseverance, you give up on many things, and then that is what makes you lose your fortune. So that's why Baba says that I have shown you the whole drama, and I have given you a picture of the drama, I have given you an understanding of the whole drama. And because now you know that this is all this will happen, and then I will rise and shine, and I will be there in the end, and I will be victorious. When you know that, then you will not lose your happiness for anything that's happening around you. But you have to hold this firmly, nothing new. This upheaval is not new, and my success is not new. It is going to happen every cycle. And you see that if you look at the world, there are many cycles in the world, and the most the most regular cycle that we go through is the cycle of day and night. And do you ever think that now is the night, and what if the sun never rises, and what if it's never day? Do you ever have this thought? No, because you see that the sun always rises and the night changes into day. Now why do you so you don't get afraid at night, because you know that this night is not permanent. But what if the night was permanent? And you see, these days we have electricity and this and that, but there was a time when people had to just shut down everything when it was, when the lights went out. So when the sun went down, there was absolutely no business. So in those times, just think about somebody having this thought that what if this night never ends? and it would be so disturbing. But but you have that faith that, this is a 6 hour, 7 hour, 8 hour period, and then it will be the sun will rise, and then there'll be the day. So even in business cycles, I'll tell you, in the world, people have discovered that business is also moving in cycles. So there's a peak, there is an ebb, and then again it rises. So there is a cycle of how the economy goes into slump and then it rises, and it's a pattern they have studied. And that's why they don't get very worked up. Those who know it, they don't get very worked up. In fact, they take advantage of it. That when it is in slump, then you invest and do stuff which will help you make profit when it is at peak. So there are methods in which they have actually made it work to their advantage. So Baba says that, just like you have knowledge of all these cycles, I am giving you the knowledge of the world drama cycle. And every piece of knowledge has to be internalized with faith. Yes, and you see, faith is a very interesting thing. You have it or you don't have it. And if you don't have faith, then nobody can do anything about it. And you see, I'll tell you one incident. There was this one brother, and he said that I don't trust the people I live with. And then I told him that, okay, you trust your karma. So he said, no, I don't trust my karma also. Then you trust God. No, I don't trust God also. Then I said, so keep worrying. What else can we give you? So keep worrying, keep hustling yourself, keep troubling yourself. There is nothing we can do. So he said, no, I want to trust. But so I said, if you keep singing this mantra, I don't trust, I can't trust, how will you trust? I want to trust. Once in a day you are telling somebody I want to trust, but all day what are you saying? I don't trust this one, I can't trust that one. So then how will you get free from worry? So you see, this faith is very important. And Baba, we recognize Baba, don't we? So Baba has Baba comes, and then Baba introduces himself to us, and then we read his Murli, and then slowly, gradually, we recognize very intuitively that this is Shiv Baba. This is God speaking, and nobody can speak like him, or nobody can say what he says or do what he does. So we understand that this is Baba, and when Baba says that this is the cycle, I have to have faith in that knowledge. And if I have faith in that knowledge that yes, this is temporary, and then this is going to change into the day, and I'm going to change into the deity, I'm going to be the victorious one at the end, then come what may, you will keep doing your thing. You will not lose your happiness, you will not lose your timetable, you will not lose your zeal, your enthusiasm. You will hold on to your spiritual journey and your whatever, in whatever context you're making your journey, that context will stay intact and you will keep making your journey. And when you keep doing that, then you will see that victory in the end. So Baba says, don't lose your happiness, don't get disheartened, don't start questioning why, what, how, until when, because these are just scenes in the drama. They come every cycle, nothing new. And Brahma Baba was a very, Brahma Baba had full faith in the drama, and Brahma Baba internalized this nothing new very well. And you see, when it was the beggary part, when there was nothing left in the yajna, and you see no food, nothing, and there are so many children to feed, and no food, no provision. And even then, Brahma Baba was sitting in happiness, and he had no sign of, tension on his face, and he was calm and happy. And then when somebody asked, what the children would eat, then he said that nothing new, and Shiv Baba will provide, just like he provides every cycle. And then you see, there was somebody in a distance, and that person sent a telegram as a money order, and that money order was used to prepare the meal that day. And that all happened because Shiv Baba is taking care of his children. And when Shiv Baba is taking care of me, Shiv Baba is taking care of his child, that is me, then why should I worry? So we have to have that kind of faith and do our thing. So Brahma Baba also, there's a balance between Purusharth, the faith in drama, and faith in Baba. So you have to make the effort you have to make, and then you have to have faith in Baba and take power from Baba, and you have to have faith in the drama and not lose your happiness in upheavals. Because I have, in this journey, in my Brahmin life and in my Lokik experience also, what I have seen is every person sees success, they see peaks in their career and stuff, and then they also see downfalls. That downfall could be in the form of defamation. If you are famous, then it comes like defamation. If you're rich, it comes like financial loss. If you are very, if you have a very big position or power, then it comes as an insult. So somebody would just insult you and put you down. So there are various forms in which if you're very attached, it comes in the form of a death, loss of a loved one. And it comes in various forms depending on our Achilles heel. So, everybody has an Achilles heel, and you know that where you are going to trip. So that's your Achilles heel, and then that challenge comes there. And when that happens, then you feel completely lost for some time, because it shakes you up, because you don't know that you're not soul conscious. You don't know how much of your self-esteem depends on external things. But then, depending on how much inner work you have done, you will be able to stabilize yourself in that situation. It will shake you up, but then you will be able to stabilize yourself, and then you will be able to maintain your discipline and your effort. And when you keep doing that, then that will go away. And then again, whatever was yours will be again yours. But most people, when they trip, they can't get up. And most people, and I don't have statistics to corroborate this, but 99% don't get up. It's only 1% who rise from a fall. And that's why you see, if you look at the people the people who are famous and the people who are there in the public, glare, if you look at them, how they all see a dip in their career. they all see some phase. Some phases are, publicly known, some are not known, but then they all see it. And then there are many who just, they are pushed to obscurity. They never are visible again. And then you wonder, where did they go, what happened? And I don't even think anybody wonders, because nobody cares. So people just lose track of them, and then they move to obscurity. But the thing is that there are only very few who get up and rise and shine and bounce back. And that requires spirituality. And if you talk to anybody who again came back to their power, they will tell you their spiritual story behind it. They will never tell you any other story. And Baba tells us that now we know that even if, the end is very far, and the bouncing back is not just about the material aspects, not just that, you get that name and fame and position back, but it's also about making sure that in the end you are in such a good place within yourself that your final thoughts can lead you to your final destination. Because whatever you lose on the external, even if you don't get it back, doesn't matter. But if you lose your happiness, then you've lost everything. And then in your final moments, you cannot go to that world of happiness. So Baba says, have this faith that the drama is Kalyankari and all this happens, but we still move to the world of happiness every cycle. And I am here with Baba, so Baba is there, and then I will bounce back. So if you keep holding to these things, then you will not slow down your effort, not lose your happiness, and you will see success at the end. So this is something that Baba is teaching us today, nothing new. And then Baba tells us so that do not argue. So Baba says you don't have to argue with anybody, especially when it comes to arguing with those who have knowledge of the scriptures, because they will try to argue with you, but Baba says you don't argue. And you see, I will tell you one experience. So I had this person, he was a scientist, and he came to the center, and I never got good marks in science in school also. So there was no way I could convince him with science. So he came, and then he started talking about all the theories of science according to which the gyan is, the gyan doesn't make sense, and he started saying all of that. And then I listened to it, and I knew that this is not going to lead anywhere. Then I told him, okay, so let us begin from the beginning. Give me one answer. Are you peaceful? Are you happy? So he said, no. So I said, I am peaceful, I am happy. Let me tell you the way to that. So then he stopped and he said, okay, so we can discuss that. So I said, I have no knowledge of science. I did not get good marks in science in school also. Let me admit that to you. So I will not argue with you on that. And you have very good knowledge, and I appreciate you for that. But I am peaceful and I am happy, which you are not, which you admitted. So let me now share how you become peaceful and happy. And then, from there, it was so easy. It was like he understood everything after that. So Baba says, you just have to tell everybody that, you see, there is this one thing that I have underlined in this knowledge, that is, you cannot change anything with the same consciousness with which it was created. So if you are in a setting, in a situation, or in a context which you don't like, and you don't want to change your consciousness, then your circumstances cannot change. And how do you change your consciousness? So for that, you need to tune in with the higher consciousness. And the higher consciousness is the ocean of peace, the ocean of love, ocean of purity. And when you know that you are a point of consciousness and God is higher consciousness, you tune into that one and then you raise your frequency. You change your consciousness. And when you change, your circumstances will change, your world will change. And this is very, very simple. It doesn't need any substantiation by science. It doesn't need, it is logical. It doesn't depend on scriptures. It doesn't depend on anything. It is very logical, and on some levels it is very scientific also. So Baba says that this is the only thing that you have to tell everybody, that while doing everything, just remember me. And when you keep remembering me, when your mind and intellect are tuned into me, then your state of being is different. And then you are elevating your consciousness, and that will change your reality. So this is the message that we have to give everybody. And whatever else they are saying, we have to not argue with that. But you see, there is this tendency to argue. And why is there this tendency to argue? Because there is this tendency to prove that I am right and you are wrong. Yes, but we don't have to prove anybody wrong. We don't have to say I'm right. And you see, the thing is, everybody is right according to their experience. People are talking from their experience. And although they are not, that experience has not led to happiness and peace, but they tend to hold their experience very highly, and they're not going to give that up just because you are saying something new. So you have to respect that everybody is coming from a place of experience, and although that may sound very, that may, the truth, so that that's not true whatever they are saying, but you cannot argue with them and prove that that's not true. So you have to respect the experience that people have, and then tell them that, okay, you have this very great experience and knowledge and whatever you know, but, and I respect that, I appreciate that, but you are not happy and peaceful, and I'm telling you the mantra for that. So just remember your Father, who is the ocean of peace and happiness, and you will become happy while doing everything. So Baba says, just tell this one thing, and you don't have to fall into that trap of ego where you are, because you see, I remember there was this one sister, and there was this one brother who had come for the course, and he spoke a lot of English, and he spoke, he spoke big words, and it was he had that interaction. And then this sister, she got so affected that she started learning English after that. And she was a primary Hindi speaker. And then I asked her, why are you making so much effort to learn Hindi? So she said, I failed to convince him because he was speaking a language with great authority. So I said, you don't have to go and beat him in his, on his on that area where he has authority. You don't have to go and prove yourself in that area. You just have to stick to what Baba has told you. And that is what he actually needs. So you see that there on so many levels we have a lot of ego. And that ego comes in the way of everything. That ego comes in the way of seva, that ego comes in the way of everything, relationships, everything. So Baba says, don't fall into the trap of ego. Whatever, maybe somebody knows the Shastras very well. And of course they will know it better than you, because you have not you spent your life learning scriptures, have you? So you don't know that. So don't argue with them on the knowledge of scriptures, and you don't have to prove by quoting the scriptures, this scripture says this, that script. Don't go into that. Just give the knowledge that Baba gives you with a lot of humility and love, just like Baba gives you. And let me tell you about that brother who is a scientist, and he became a BK, and he started understanding Gyan, and he also started thinking about how to theorize it so that scientists could understand it. And he spent a lot of thought on it, but then he left the body. And before he left the body, he was very aged when he came to the center that time also. So when he left the body, before that, he came to the center. He had a meal on request. So, he came and he said, I'm hungry, I want to eat something. And he ate that, and that was his last meal in the center. And then some days later, he left the body. And I always feel that, and his family members, they didn't know Baba, they didn't know Gyan, but then somebody guided them, and they offered bhog also to Baba after his leaving the body. So you see, people who come like that, disguised like they are very of the head and not of the heart, and they look like they are reasoning and they are arguing, but it's not like that. Baba says, you don't go into that, and they will get that message and they will understand Gyan. So these are Baba's teachings, and Baba today also warns us of attachment, because today is Valentine's Day and everybody is going to play that game of attachment. So Baba says, be very detached if you have to be the bead of the rosary. And Baba says that any attachment to any human being, it will pull you down. You might be soaring very high in your spiritual journey, but something happens to the other person and you lose all your spiritual energy. So Baba says, just have a relationship with one Baba, be cooperative with everybody, but then companion is just one Baba. Okay, Om Shanti.